Why? Why? I was having such a good start to my summer. This is cruel. What the hell am I supposed to do here? But cry. I think I should cry. I think that's probably my only option. I would say that that's probably my only option. So I'm supposed to figure out what's wrong with this again. No, don't make me. Oh, don't make me. Is it time for retirement yet? Am I greedy for saying that I want to retire? Let's say instead of by the age of 34, 35, I'd kind of like to retire by like May 18th, 2017. All right, so this board you may remember from a stream from a few months ago. This is the RTC clock chip, and it has a short to ground right on the clock line. So let's just bring up the board view here so that you can see where that is on this pile of crap. This is such a sad, sad case, because this was like 2 hours, and it's back. Yeah, so we're... PP3V42 goes to the chip. Here's the thing, PP3V42 on this board is not shorted to ground. Hey, why are you... Come on, show me. Oh, open broadcaster fuck up. Keeps changing my monitors. Alright, so display capture. I want you to show this. And over here, same idea. I want you to show this. Alright. So this is the PP3V42 pin. Now here's the thing, PP3V42 is not shorted to ground on this board. However, in this specific spot, PP3V42 was shorted to ground on the board. So what I did is I dug the layers out of the board, and that was about a 1 hour long stream of me digging and digging and digging and digging and digging, and it's back! It's back! It's back again. Hole is back. So where do we begin? Well, let's figure out why this thing is back here. So let's plug it into a charger and see. This is a new camera angle where you get to see just how shitty my office is. So any of you that are new to this business who may think, I wish I had the stuff that Lewis has. You want to see what my office looks like? Yeah, you'll feel a lot less jealous. So this is different angle. The only thing that I have that's probably enviable is a spinning chair. So these are where I keep all the things that I'm working on. That's where I keep the stuff that's done. These are the ultrasonic cleaners. These are my TLCS 3.6 speakers, because let's face it, if you don't have a phase-coherent stereo system that goes down to 27 hertz with no change in phase coherency, you just don't have a repair office. I got my phone over here, which, do not disturb. I got my soldering station, I got my garbage, and I got my floor with the hole in it, which is why you can see the chair vibrates as I move it from here to here, back and forth. And that's my streaming computer under there. And if you look really closely, you can see that I have two fans pointing at my GPU, because my GPU used to die if it went over 50 Celsius. Got a linear power supply to my digital and analog converter, because you need perfect quality audio while you're soldering. And yeah, that's that. This is my little shithole over here. This is my little dump corner of Manhattan. So let's go over what's wrong with this thing. So this is the microscope camera. I'm just going to show you the MagSafe. So the MagSafe has got an orange light, which means PP3V42 has to be present, right? The thing kind of reminds me of HAL 9000 when I look at it on the screen. Like, think of some scary music or some kind of Jaws-like music when you look at that, or maybe some dark strings playing in the background, and it's very HAL 9000-ish, kind of scary. But yeah, so that PP3V42's got to be present because we got the light. So now let's just check through the rest of it. Paul Daniel says, I like your shithole. How long does Lewis usually give warranty? It's a 3-month. If you're not a douchebag, then I extend it after 3 months. If you are a douchebag, then you only get the 3 months. So it's a just standard 3-month warranty with after 3 months, up to discretion based on douchiness and also whether or not it's something that's actually fixable. I actually used to give a longer warranty on this until the graphics crap started, like all the graphics chip issues. You really can't trust 15-inch MacBook Pros for anything, especially since I can't buy GPUs for them. So at some point, I just had to, yeah. All right, so we got the multimeter on the screen here. So let's just check out some voltage rails by my chip. So the first place that I would check is over here, because this is where the nastiness is. And let's see, what do I expect here? I expect to get my voltage for PPVRTC G3 hot over there. So I expect to have my 3.3 volts there. And I also expect to have my 3.42 volts on this pin over here. So we're going to check for that. Paul, you get yourself a microscope yet? Out of curiosity. So let's check a few things. So over here. Wait a second. Am I measuring DC power? Yeah. All right. So we got 3.4 going to the chip. That's 2.4 on PP Bus G3 hot, and PPVRTC is 3.4. Now, let's see. I did feel something. Pumped and felt. No, I'm not sure if what I felt was what I thought I felt. So, PP Bus G3 hot is going to be on my fuse over here. So I'm just going to show you the list of power rails on the schematic here. You can take a look, see what they look like. What happened to that chip? The board was shorted to, there was a hole under the chip where the board was actually shorting a power rail to ground. So what I had to do is I had to put the chip on the board at an angle. Because if I put the chip on the board flat, then when I run the wire it's for a PP3V42 to the chip, it's just going to go to ground. Because that pad, for some reason at that point on the board, the pad shorted to ground. So what I did is I lifted the chip up like this so that I could then, on the side where the hole was, where I dug out the short to ground, run all the wires to it so that it would not short to ground anymore. So that's what we do there. Okay. So here is the page that has all the power rails in glorious 1080p. PP Bus G3 hot is over here. It's supposed to be, it says 8.6 volts because the schematic is just dumb. It's actually supposed to be 12.56. Only authorized places should be allowed to repair Apple products because we know better, which is why we write the wrong values in our own fucking schematic. I'm not making this up. Look at this. Look at this. PP Bus G3 hot, 8204924, 8.6 volts. So I want, like, why are we still on this? Because this actually was trending on Reddit earlier today, and I think it was our technology. There's something on the right to repair, and it's like, I don't want these idiots fixing my products. And it's like, yes, I would much rather have people fixing my products that think that they run off of 8 volts instead of 12. At least they got it wrong in the right direction. Like, if you plug a 12-volt battery into an 8-volt computer, you will fuck it up worse than if you plug an 8-volt battery into a 12-volt computer. But what do I know? So let's get to work here. And this is the PP Bus G3 hot fuse. Let me just shrink my PDF window here so you can see that. And there we go. There we go. All right. And right over here, we can measure PP Bus G3 hot. Let's see what my PP bus is. It's important to have a... Did you get the t-shirts I sent? Oh, crap. I've been waiting to know who that was from. So this is you? Yeah. I got the... No way. I've been waiting for these because I got them. I got this and I got another one, a fan spin one, which is in the front. And I didn't know who they were from. This is awesome. Thank you, Chris. This is a... No, this reminds me of that Zefrank thing about the koalas. Where he's like, koalas in the rain. Dun, 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 dun. That's awesome. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I just got those today. Those things are so cool. And I got the fan spin round one. I got a... Yeah, that is so cool. Thank you. All right, so as you can see, I got 0.2 volts on PP Bus G3 hot when it's supposed to be 12. So the first thing I'm going to do here is check to see if I have a short to ground. Jessica says Mark went to the Apple store today. He said the home button is not working on this iPhone 7. They pushed the button and said, that should work. Okay, so as you can see, we do have a short to ground. Now, the question that I have here is, where is the short to ground? Is the short to ground on which side is it on? Is it on the side that creates PP-Bush G3 hot, or is it on this side, on the system side? Now, it's probably on the system side, because that would be my luck. But let me just show you how, what I'm talking about when I say that. So this is where PP-Bush G3 hot is going to be created. Hey, damn it. My Open Broadcaster shortcuts match my Sumatra PDF shortcuts. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, so as you can see, this circuit takes voltage from the adapter. God, yeah, I'm bad at this. Why do people watch this YouTube channel again? Why don't you watch somebody that's like competent and can like use a fucking PDF reader? Anyway, this circuit takes voltage from the adapter and then turns it, that 16 volts, into 12 volts for the system. Motherfucker. Wait, so really? Clicking in this mode does that? Seriously, Sumatra? You unproductive piece of fucking... Get the... Mother... Fucker. Alright, so now we're in a regular mode where clicking is not going to do that. Alright. I gotta change my shortcuts because this is pissing me off. So anyway, this is going to take 16 volts from the charger and turn it into 12 volts for the system. Now this fuse sits between this part of the circuit, which creates 12 volts, and the system, which is going to use that 12 volts. So I'm going to remove F7140, and then we're going to see which side the short is on. Because right now I can't know, do I start troubleshooting this, or do I start troubleshooting that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove F7140, which is my bridge, and then we're going to figure out which side of the bridge is the problem on. This is the same thing that they do when there's, let's see. So I'm going to turn on my hot air station, and let's get started. Let's remove that fuse. Move this out of the way, turn on my fume extractor, because if you're not using a fume extractor, you're probably fucking your health. Always use a fume extractor when you solder. I have mine right here, and I run it all the time. So we're going to heat the board while I read through your comments, and I'm confident that there's absolutely nothing wrong with heating the board while simultaneously scrolling through YouTube chat. It's totally, that is the professional way to solder. My air filter just sucked something up. Did you hear that? I heard a vroom. I heard a swoosh. And because of where I put my fume extractor, piece of shit. Yep, it just ate a paper towel. That's what my fume extractor does. It eats things. Like chips. It usually has higher taste than that, though. It usually will eat a spool of chips. It'll eat an SMC that has programming on it. It very rarely eats stuff like paper towels. Interesting. Alright, so, back to work. Small office is pissing me off. Alright. So, let's repeal the fuse temporarily. It's not the fuse's fault, most likely. We're gonna preheat the board so that we can repeal the fuse. And once it's preheated, I'll remove it. Lewis, thank you very much for referring UK customers to me. You need to give me like a website or something, because every time I Google you, I cannot find out who you are. Because I do try to refer UK customers to you. But sometimes I'll just say, Google this guy, and then I'll Google you, and I can't find shit for contact info. You need to start upgrading RAM, drive space, chips, and charge them handsomely for it. Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody wants to pay a rate for RAM upgrades on an Air or a Retina that would actually make it worth it. Because here's the thing you have to think about with the Retinas and the Airs. First, you have to source good chips. Any of you watch my videos in the graphics chips? If any of you watch my videos in the graphics chip to get an idea why I don't really like doing that? First, you have to source good RAM chips. Then, you have to solder them. Then after you solder them, you have to hope that nothing else died in the board. Because do keep in mind, again, you're working on a $1,100 board, and for like a $200 job, you're going to get... This is dead. Like, let's face it. I mean, I can't really make this board worse than it is. It's fucking dead. It's dead. It's dead. It has a hole in it. There, you're taking a board with full functionality, and for the low price of $100 to $200, you're supposed to change every RAM chip, reprogram the BIOS, pray the RAM chips that you replaced are actually good, and take responsibility and accountability for everything that goes wrong with it. No. It's something I may consider into the future, but it ain't for me. So let's see. So we're going to check for a short circuit to ground on the system side. And also, yeah, so let's see. This is the system side. Ahem, serial. It's Jessa's fault that my serial mode isn't working. Jessa always screws up the serial. I keep forgetting to hit RS-232 on this multimeter to engage the serial mode. And Jessa tells me that she's always had problems with the serial. So now I'm also going to plug it in just to ensure that the circuit has the capability of creating 12.6 volts. So now that it's not going to be driving a short, since I removed the fuse, which is the bridge between the side that creates the voltage and the system side that uses the voltage, we should be getting 12.6 volts over here. And we get 12.6 volts, not 8, because I know better than the schematic, which is not saying much. So now we have to figure out where the short circuit is. So the first thing I'm going to do, which is going to be a waste of time, as it always is, the first waste of time that I'm going to do is a visual inspection of the board to see if we can find out where the short circuit is. And let's face it, it's not going to be visible. It never is. It's never visible. But let's try it out. So I know my ISL6259 creation circuitry is working because when I remove the fuse, I get 12.6 volts at the pad for the fuse. So we're just going to look around the board and see if anything looks any type of fucked up. Where's the third monitor? The third monitor is to my right because I can't fit too much on this desk, and that monitor is my that's my open broadcaster monitor, so that I can see what you see. So every now and then, since the microscope camera only sees a portion of what you see, I wind up screwing up and not showing you what it is I want you to see. So I keep that to the right so I can make sure. Now the CPU MOSFETs use that, and are you screwed up at all? I see some redness under those pads, but they don't look screwed up. Except for the ones that have the holes in them. Hey look, some of our CPU MOSFETs looks like they have holes in them. You see what I'm talking about? Hello. More light, and then you'll see. Yeah, what's that? And that. Hello. Yeah, there's a groove in there that my tweezer fits into. You can dig into that. Don't you use filters in the inlet? No, they got destroyed. These came with filters in the inlet, and they got destroyed, and never bothered getting new ones. I don't know how they got destroyed. It was heater. It was probably hot air, because you have to think about it. Like, I have this hot air. This is outputting 950 Fahrenheit air, like this, right next to this thing. So I feel like what I did is I probably burned the mesh off. But yeah, so those don't look very nice. And thoughts on Times Square? I haven't looked at the news yet. To my knowledge, which is limited, it's something to do with a DUI, which I would say don't drive while drunk. Don't drive while drunk. It's a bad thing. So I'm going to try removing those CPU MOSFETs and see if that does it. Hi, Lewis. A friend left 2 boards for repair today. Please make a video of them. What's your friend's name? Let's see. Are they boards that I can record fixing, or are they boards that are a nightmare? Let's see. More importantly, are they boards that somebody tried to fix themselves first? That's the big question. But alright, so just for the fuck of it, let's remove those CPU MOSFETs. Yep, drunken idiot in a crowded spot. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I joke about drinking, but I drink when I'm at home. Maybe every now and then I'll have a few... I'll have, you know, a few drinks while I'm fixing a board. Not too many, but I don't I don't advocate driving while drunk. If you want to get drunk and you want to put yourself in danger of something, you know, whatever. But don't force other people to take that danger alongside you. That's being a douchebag piece of shit. And it's easy for people to justify like just one. And the reason that I think they have that, the reason I agree with that policy where they're like, if you have one drink, you're still in trouble, that they have in many areas, the zero tolerance thing, is because once you notice that one drink is okay, well, if I can do one drink, well, then you can do two. If you can do two, then you can do three. If you can do three, then you can do four. If you can do four, then you can do five. You can do five, then you can do six. And so I totally agree with that concept of just shit-canning people at the first drink. Just don't drink and drive, even one drink. Because that's the thing. People don't get to drinking. People don't get to the end immediately. They just get there one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. The same with employee fuck-ups. Like, you tolerate one thing, well, it means you have to tolerate the next thing, which means you have to tolerate the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and then you're an asshole because, oh, this is only a tiny bit worse than before. Yeah. Not a fan of that stuff. Okay, so now we're going to see if after removing those MOSFETs, if we still have the same short to ground. So I'm going to turn the meter back on. Turn on my good old meter. My trusty multimeter. And hey, we're still shorted to ground, which means I just took all those off for no reason. Alright, yeah, fuck this. We're just gonna put voltage in. Voltage it is. Voltage it is. I fucking cave, man. Did I? Yeah. 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 We did the physical inspection. I can feel good about that, right? We did the physical inspection. Let's inject 20 volts. 20 volts it is. Time for 20 volts. Time to put some 20 volts in there. Are you 420 friendly? I'm not friendly, but I'm definitely not 420 friendly. So just I'm definitely not friendly. So therefore, I cannot be a subset of any other type of friendly. How much distance do you usually set your heat thing in order to preheat, and which temperature? My temperature is I don't know. I have a knob on this thing, and I just turn it all the way up until it can't go anymore. And distance is always varying. Like, I start from... You can see the camera, like, it's like the board is here, and then my thing is here. Maybe you can't see that too well. So, like, I'll start preheating from there, and then closer, and then closer, and then closer, and so on and so forth. So we're going to bring on the heat. We're going to bring on the heat. We're going to bring on the pain. We're going to bring on the pain, baby. Alright, so let's get a wire from the power supply going here. And we're going to... This is a nice ground point. I'm going to solder to my ground point there. And let me get my power supply soldered up to the board. Soldered. Yeah, I remember I was in Kansas for a while, and I was watching people go to a bar. And Kansas is different than here. Like, I live even though I live further away from the store than I'd like to. I live about 5 miles away. The reason I don't live near the store is because my apartment here would cost about $9,000 instead of about $1,900. I don't want to pay the difference. But here, like, even if I'm wasted, I can walk home, you know? I mean, it's 5 miles. It's not a fucking trek. But in the middle of nowhere, you have no choice other than to get wasted and just walk home a lot of the time. I mean, you could get a cab, but the cabs it's not like here. Like, even if I wanted to take an Uber home from work, an Uber home from work is going to cost me, the worst case scenario if I want my own, like $27 with surge pricing. Best case scenario, $4 with Uber Pool. You know, maybe $15 or $20 with Uber Pool if it's a surge time. So I have reasonable options. When you're in the middle of nowhere, like cab ride can be like $80. So people, it's, you know, either I'm sleeping in the bar, or I'm driving, and I get that. But at the same time, I kind of wonder why get yourself into that shit position to begin with, you know. This is why when I decide that I'm going to get drunk, I'll do that in my home, or I'll get drunk at work, or I'll get drunk when I am with somebody that is going to be able to drive me home. I don't understand this concept of knowing that you have no alternative method of communication and then getting wasted. That's not something that I would particularly advise. All right, so let's put some voltage into this board and burn the fuck out of it. I mean, let's test it properly by making sure that we examine all parts of it and you know, professional. All right. Help Lewis make his office spacious again, and he linked to a cleaner. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have my corner back. I'll have my corner back once those ultrasonics sell. All right, so let's figure out what's hot on this board. iPad Rehab says Gopal free YouTube live experience. All right, so I'll let all of you. Well, I have to wait a little bit just for this board to start soaking up the heat since I started at low voltage. So I've been going back and forth with Jessa on this, and Jessa wants to do a YouTube live experience and sell it. So the whole idea, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can explaining this. She wants to charge $100 for the experience of your board being fixed on camera, and you can Skype call her and watch the board repair. So sometimes she does board repairs on camera, sometimes she doesn't because she just doesn't want to. Same with me. Some I do on camera, some I don't, just because I want to get shit done and go home. So she wants to do $100, guarantee that your board gets fixed on. I mean, not guarantee that your repair, whether fixable or not, is recorded, and that you get to talk to her during the experience. And she wants that to be $100. I've said that and here's the thing. Like I am a capitalist. I am a capitalist. I believe in making money. I believe in the free market. I believe in charging for shit. And for some reason, like, I don't know if it's just because I lived in New York for too long, or for some reason there's like a little thing that goes off in my head where I just don't think I'd be able to do that. And I can't quite put my finger on why it is I could do that. But I can't. Yet the idea stands for just about everything that I stand for. This whole capitalism and charging for things and this and adding value, and if people want to pay for it, going for it. But I don't know. It's like, and she's saying that I'm being a gopal. I'm being a I'm giving away shit for free by doing the video for free. But, and the whole thing with her model is you still pay the $100 if it's not fixable. So you pay for the repair plus the 100, or you don't pay for the repair if it's not fixable. But if it's not fixable, you still pay the $100 for the experience of watching the failed board repair. And like, again, I believe in capitalism. If somebody wants to pay for it, go for it. But there's just something about that system that just strikes me as weird. All right, so let's see if we have anything getting warm here. I used to use my face for this. I've just, again, as I've gotten closer to my desired retirement, as I get closer to my desired retirement, I find that I no longer want to use my face as a means of heat detection. So the thing is, your face, this skin on here is much more sensitive than the skin on your hands, and the skin on your lips is much more, but again, I don't want to put a hole through my lips. Been there, done that, and no thank you. Now, there's also the concept of freeze spray, but it's like $20 for a can. And that $20 can goes really quickly, because a lot of people have asked why I don't use freeze spray. Freeze spray is like just incredibly expensive. All right. So at 0.5 volts, nothing is really getting warm. Not even close to it, which is what I expected at 12.5 volts. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the good old system of a little bit of alcohol, a certified pre-owned paper towel under the board, and let's see what gets warm as we turn it up. Why does Apple not just hire you? Because I don't think I would provide much value to them. As I say, I'm not an engineer, I am a janitor. It's one of those things where, like, I'm not really that smart. It's, I would say, like, I'm a 65 student at business, I'm a 65 student at sales, I'm a 65 student at management, I'm a 65 student at electronics, I'm probably like a 64 student at soldering, I'm a 65 student at money management. So I'm kind of like good enough at all the things that I could be really successful running my own business, very successful running my own business. But I would most likely be a failure if I had to do one specific job and be best in class. Like best in class design, dude, like I'm lucky I can design if I could design like an alternative to the CMOI. Best in class solderer, that's a joke. Best in class business, no. That's the thing that I really like about small business. That's the thing that I like about small business is that with small business, I wish I had an overhead camera so you could see what I see. That's something I got to work on. Overhead camera, so that you can see where the alcohol melts. So the thing is with your own business, you can be a 65 student, but as long as you're a 65 student in enough different areas, you can be successful. Whereas if you have a job, most people with a job, they're not expected to be good at all these different things or be a jack of all trades. They're expected to be really good at one specific thing. So if you're not really good at one specific thing, then you're fucked and you're stuck making, 20 to 40,000 a year for the rest of your life. And a lot of people are fine with that, But there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you're happy with. Huh, there is a Thunderbolt controller hiding under it. Actually, wait, is it you? Oh, I think we found you. Methinks we have a culprit. Hello. Why are you the only dry capacitor on this board now? Why are you the only dry capacitor on the board now? Yeah, like, what would I really do for Apple? I mean, hey, stop putting JTAG connectors if you want less warranty. What are you paying rent? Too fucking much, man. Too fucking much. This place is almost $5,000 now. Goes up every year. Plus all the insurances and the this and the that and the that. New York is too expensive. Thoughts on Martin, guy whose last name I always butcher. Martin Shkreli. Martin Shkreli. I don't know why I always say his name is Shrek. Maybe it's just because he's so good at shit posting and I always associate Shrek with taking a shit, but yeah, Martin is one of my favorite internet shit posters. Okay, so it doesn't seem like that because it's not. Yeah, that was just a fluke. That was a fluke. Oh, lame. Hey. Oh, no. Okay, I was close. Check this out. Hello. Oh, rest in peace, little board. Rest in fucking pieces. So what is it? Is it the capacitor? Is it the layers? It's steaming. It's literally steaming. Smoking, not steaming. All right, so I was on the right track, actually. I was on the right track. CPU V-Core. That was my first guess. And look at that. All right, so let's start removing some of the stuff near there. Sounds like they are flirting with danger, says Omnitographer. Huh. Funny. About thermal cams without... Someone says about thermal cams without knowing what they are on about. What? Alright, that's starting to smell really bad now. So we're going to just turn this off. And we're going to start removing shit around there and see if our short goes away. And so we're going to dig another hole. Let's dig another hole. Oh, this is going to suck. This is going to suck balls. I'm pretty sure the short is inside the board. Have you ever used an Apple product for personal use? Personal, no. I've used them at other places for work, but for personal use, I do not use them. There's no track points. What am I supposed to do with it? I would never pay that much to get a board repair video, says Ashraj Dinza. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Maybe it's because you consider this a hobby and not a service. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and the YouTube thing started as a hobby for me. What I do, again, I don't have passion for board repair. I don't love board repair. This just so happens to allow me to combine skills that I'm good at into problems I can solve for people, which is the whole point. But I am definitely not one of those people that's like, I always love... No. I wanted to be a therapist. I don't know how the fuck I got into this stuff, but I do this because it makes me money. But the YouTube thing, I started as a hobby. Hey, our short circuit's gone. So it was that capacitor all along. And that capacitor looked pretty clean. You guys saw that. I mean, was that capacitor not clean? I think that capacitor was very clean. That capacitor was the only thing that was keeping this from working. All right, so now I got to find those CPU MOSFETs that I blamed. But I'm kind of wondering if maybe that capacitor blew because one of those CPU MOSFETs was bad because they had holes in them. So I'm not really inclined to put those original MOSFETs back on because, as you could see, they had a little bit of nastiness in the top. However, at the same time, I'm also inclined to put those MOSFETs back on because I can't find a donor board that I haven't stolen them from already. It's a very common thing that fail. So let's just look around. I'm going to see if I got a donor board for them. You need to make a more broadly appealable demonstration in order to make good money, though. Yeah. I'm saying that if you fix that dude's friend's board on stream because he asked you to, Gopal YouTube Live experience. Jiffer sends 100 to watch Lewis Rossman smash a board. That's not... No. I'll smash an A1181 board for $100, but like nothing else. Tourniquet of compressed air upside down, you have free spray, that's what I use. Yeah, but compressed air is really expensive too. I stopped using compressed air when... This is the great thing about QuickBooks and checking it regularly. Like, as soon as I realized that I had spent $2,700 on canned air, it really changed my perspective on buying an air compressor. Because it's really easy to be cheap with buying an air compressor and say, I don't want to spend money on an air compressor. But then if you have that mentality, and then you see that the air compressor is $700 to $900 for a really good one, and that you spend $2,700 on canned air, it's really helpful to change your perspective just a little bit towards something that is sane. So I changed my perspective towards the more sane perspective of not wasting money on canned air. Canned air is a real killer. It's a real money killer. And you won't notice it immediately. You won't notice it immediately. You just notice it over time. All right. IR does shit all. Yeah. I have a lot of people saying I'm unprofessional because I don't use a FLIR cam. And again, how many times have you seen me on stream not able to find the location of a short in the board? I mean, serious question. I'm not trolling, but like, how many times have you seen me unable to find out where the short circuit is? Ever? Have I ever been defeated where I could not find the location of a short? And I'm not talking about those times where the short circuit was inside the board. Those don't count because those are not fixable anyway, a lot of the time. Like, how many times have I legitimately not found the short circuit location? And this method is fine. This method's fine. Who said Chris Cornell hung himself? No way. No way. Don't make me Google that on stream. All right. Some nice fresh solder there. Solder without an L. Because who the hell is going to put an L on solder? And okay, let's get the hot air station back up. and get to work putting the stuff on the board. Can you repair non-Apple equipment? Probably, but I like to have my what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it's not motivation. No, it's not locomotion. It's the thing that you build up. It's the thing that a train builds up as it moves. I'm forgetting more and more stuff lately, like basic stuff. I'll remember the word later. Momentum, that's what I'm talking about. You build up momentum as you're working on something, so the more time I spend on this stuff, the faster and more efficient I get at it, the more parts I have available. By the way, look at Weller quality right here. I screwed that thing on as hard as I could, and it just fell off. I still haven't gotten a response from a 2-week-old email to Weller asking where I can buy the heating element. What a bunch of fucks. This is why we have very limited sponsors in this channel, because I say what I think. But, yeah. Is this the laptop guy, repair guy? No, wrong channel. Wrong channel. How'd you learn all of this electrical repair? Screwing with stuff. But you build up momentum over time. So, I have all the parts I need. I've slowly built up the knowledge. I got the schematics. I got all the stuff. And after enough time of doing this, I have a reputation doing it. So now I have, dozens of people bringing this stuff here every day. And I don't want to break that momentum for a one-off repair of some $200 thing that will take me a lot of time to research, to find parts, schematics, diagrams, etc. for something I'm never going to do again. So I probably could do a lot of other stuff, but what was the point of building up all the momentum here if I'm not going to use it for anything? That's what I would say. Free spray is cheap. 20 volts, says somebody. Chris. Please stop answering common questions. It just invites new subscribers and you don't want that. It depends. Some rare cases, maybe. Alright, so let's just put some semen on this board. So now that we got the semen on the board, I can proceed with soldering on some fresh new MOSFETs. If they fail all the time, why not pick some up from DigiKey or Mouser? I'm not sure I can buy these ones on DigiKey or Mouser. That's the thing. Maybe it's changed now, but I think the last time I checked, a lot of this stuff's just not available on DigiKey or Mouser. It's only available from AliExpress a lot of the time, and a lot of the times the parts that I need, they're like half. They're like half the price of the fucking donor board. Lewis, P50 review, heat dissipation, how it works on load. I'll do that soon. I'll get into that one soon, because that machine really works. Like that has very good heat dissipation compared to the Retinas. And says bye. How is it an experience? It could be anyone's board. How will the person know? You should buy a thermal camera just because it's cool. That's not going to get me the house that I want. It's not a troll he did last night. No way. I don't buy it. There's no way in hell Chris Cornell killed himself. You guys are screwing with me. No way. No, he did it. No, you gotta be fucking with me. Momentum. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word. Can I really use semen? Yes, you'll save a lot of money off of buying flux. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to heat all these. That's never going to work. Yeah, they're gonna blow away. Come on, heat up. Okay, you're soldered. Excess out. Really? This is where we're going to with this? People buying moderation? Fine. I can be bought. Just don't do anything silly now. I think perhaps these were replaced before. That little thing on the top, that wasn't damaged. That was just the CPU MOSFET being pushed down with the tweezers. He actually hung himself. Oh, fuck. Medic. Oh, man. I guess it just goes to show you could have all the talent and all the money in the world and still have a lot of problems. It's sad. Lewis can be bought for $2. You cheap whore. Yep. Son of a... You piece of shit. No, you're not going into the air filter. Fuck you. No. Get back here. Get the fuck back here. Oh, what are you gonna do? Oh well. Those pins are supposed to be bridged anyway. That entire side is one big solder bridge. Next. Da, 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 da. Someone PayPals me $20, I'll convince Lewis to mod you. Send me a whisper if interested. Really? This is becoming a business now? So you're going to take 20 bucks and then you're going to send me 2. Now that's fucking capitalism in action. That is capitalism in action. Do not send URAS money. Do not send URAS a dime. Now we're going to put the fuse back on. Going to get a nice certified pre-owned fuse there. What's the worst mistake you made in front of a customer? That's too general a question. Who the fuck remembers that shit when you have 30 people a day? Too general. Too general. Way too general. What is the Weller set at now? 11. It's set to 11. If I had a camera angle where I could show you that without screwing up all my wiring, I'd show you. I don't use temperature settings. I really don't. It's pointless for me. I use distance to set temperature. I set the station to the hottest temperature that it goes to, and then I use distance to set temperature. If I was working on a cell phone, then I would probably set a lower temperature, because cell phones are very much easier to break than this stuff. Wasn't it the solder braid he hated? No, that's good. I found one last Gootwick left. I like Gootwick. Is it possible to switch a MacBook Pro 13-inch screen to a MacBook Air 13-inch? Are you talking about the older... The MacBook Pro 13-inch is every model from 2009 through 2016, so I don't know which one you're talking about. Either way, the answer is no. The older MacBook uses LVDS, and the new one uses the EDP, DisplayPort. So that's not going to work, because they're not even the same protocol. If you look at the schematic, you'll see. Totally different protocol. Why are the boards black? I don't know. Because green is oppressive. Who the fuck knows? Alright, so... Gonna get a fuse. Take the fuse. Take my certified pre-owned fuse and put it on the board. Send me the money, I need to pay for college. Oh, that's a waste. That's a waste. The soldering iron is sets at 840. And Hacko has this retarded design where they have this little blue key that goes into it, and if you lose the little blue key, then you can never change the temperature again. And I lost the little blue key. So it's at 840 now, and it will be at 840 until the day I throw it away and buy a new one. Because I lost the key. Have you ever had something you can't fix? Every day. Every day. I've been having issues finding the board model of the newer MacBook Pro units. It seems to keep making it harder and harder to find. Any suggestions? I don't know. Complain Apple? Support right to repair? Finding board views for this stuff is damn near impossible. Yeah. Support right to repair is what I would say. Write your congressman. Write your senator. What do you have in common with Jessa besides board repair? Nothing? Yeah, pretty much nothing. Yeah, I would say nothing. I still remember back to arguments I had with Jess over things like Walmart, where she said that, like, having a certain amount of Walmarts has to be legislated and towns should be able to vote out Walmart. And I said, well, why don't you just vote out Walmart by not shopping there? And she goes, well, it's too convenient. It's too convenient. If you have all these things that you have to do and there's one store that sells everything, people have no choice but to go. And it's like, no, you could just go to the other 3 stores. No, but we're not going to if it's there. And I'm like, okay, then keep Walmart. No, we have to legislate Walmart out of the town because it's like, personal responsibility. Oh my, like Walmart has been a complete bag of dicks to my best friend's mom. Just garbage company. Like she had cancer and she needed a time off because she had cancer. So she couldn't go to work because she had cancer and she got fired for having cancer. So I don't give, Walmart could have fucking board views, Walmart could have pre-balled SMCs with fucking programming on them for 99 cents, and they could be the only supplier of it. I wouldn't shop there on principle. I don't give a fuck. So I don't know. We disagree on a lot of things. Actually, I shouldn't say a lot of things. We disagree on, I think, everything. 99% of the things there are to disagree on. But if I think back to most of the debates that we've had, I would say that we disagree on, I think, everything. Like, just about everything. Yeah, the Walmart debate is the only one I know off the top of my head. Alright. Just wick the solder off of the board. You teach students also. I don't, Jason does. So why do you associate with her? Who associates with only people that they have things in common with? I mean, that's insane. That's living in an echo chamber. the way that you get better, the way you sharpen your sword when it comes to ideas is to talk to people who you disagree with. Figure out why it is you disagree with. One of the things about having real arguments, one of the things about having real debates is that you get to figure out very quickly if your debate is based on just emotional puke or if it's based on actual reason, evidence, and logic. You know, a lot of people just get into an echo chamber. And one of the things I see with arguments, one of the things that drove me nuts, this is why I can't go to any of those vegan meetup groups. I used to go to some of these vegan meetup groups in New York, and there would be people arguing politics or economics or religion or or abortion or any of these things. And they would say something, and if you, let's say they asked, so what do you think of this? And I would say, do you support this? And I would say yes. And they would go, that's all I need to know. They would do an eye roll, and they would walk away. And that's the thing that happens when you're only talking to people that you always agree with, is that you get yourself into this little echo chamber. And one of the biggest signs that you're in an echo chamber is when you have a discussion with somebody and they look at you and they go, that's all I need to know, without actually telling you why. That's probably one of the first signs that you're dealing with somebody who has an emotional gut reaction based on their programming rather than having any semblance of a fucking brain. It's good to debate. It's good to have a friendly debate with people. I shouldn't use the F word because I hate that word, but you get the point. You get the point. All right, so let's see what happens when I plug this in. Do we get off my desk, you little shit desk MOSFETs. Fuck out of here. And okay, let's see if I get CPU vCore. No CPU vCore. All right, do we get PP Bus G3 hot? Wait, set serial mode on? Serial mode is on? What was it like meeting Jessa for the first time? That was interesting, because when I met Jessa for the first time, that was the only person that I had ever met that used their face to find the hot part on the board. So we went to this e-tech party, and a lot of the people that it wasn't exactly a meeting of the world's best and brightest. And, yeah, not by far. Did I put no, okay, so we have PP Bus G3 hot back. So why don't I get CPU vCore? Is it because CPU is dead? CPU dead? Yeah, when that shit shorted, it probably killed my CPU. Son of a bitch, bastard, motherfucker. Blown CPU MOSFETs on a Haswell is almost a guarantee that your CPU got 12 volts, which means that you're fucked. Let's see. Might as well check out the RTC area a little bit. But yeah, it was interesting meeting somebody that had gone through a lot of these same things, same learning experiences. Because like it was weird going to that meeting, because I was in a room for hours with all these people that thought that they were God's gift to Earth because they figured out that they could make more than $20,000 a year by replacing cell phone screens. And everybody had the same stories, like, I worked at Walmart, and then I started replacing phone screens, and I care so much about not having dust under the phone screen, which makes me special and different and unique from everybody else. Like, no, it doesn't. It makes you one person in a sea of people that, like, scrape broken glass off of aluminum and think that they're special. And, yeah, after, like, 2 hours of that, meeting Jessa was a breath of fresh air. I need a breath of fresh air on this fucking board. Yeah, like especially on the 3662 boards and the 3787 boards, if PP Bus G3 hot is shorted to ground, there's no point in even removing it. It's just dead. It's just completely dead. And that's what this here is. It's probably dead. It's probably dead. Liberals like living in echo chambers. No, everybody does. No. Am I a conservative? Yes. Am I going to just nod at statements against the opposite party? No, everybody does. No. Everybody does. Everybody gets in their little cliques and groups and insults the other side without looking at the fucked up parts in their side. Again, I'm a vegan. I went to a vegan meetup. 90% of the people that I met at the vegan meetup were complete douchebags in an echo chamber. Like, you know, I'm not going to defend people just because they're part of my team. Let's see. Triggers me, Lewis use flux every time they touch the soldering iron. Oh, well. Let's see. You need an SMC, probably. Jessa thinks Hillary is great and wants her to win next time. No. It's going to come out what she did to Seth Rich. But she's most likely going to die of whatever disease that she has before she gets to run again. I really think like Dwayne Johnson is going to get it in 2020. And I know, but like Trump set the precedent that you could like people that have nothing to do with politics entering politics and winning. I think Dwayne, like as much as I hate to say it, as much as I don't want it to happen, I think he's going to get it. Anyway, I think you fucked some of the pad up. What's the pad? You need to be specific. There's 3,000 pads on this board. Let's see. Do you have backlight drivers compatible with the 820-3330? I do! And by the way, let's do some shameless advertising here and show you how you could find them on my crappy website. All right, so this will be our ad for the day. Yeah, in case. So let's go. All right, so if you type in 820-3330, it will actually show you every chip before you even click something that's compatible with the 820-3330. Let me just zoom in a little bit. And then look, buck converter for PP Bus G3 Hot, PP3V42 regulator, LED driver, bam. You click, and it loads in less than 2 seconds, which is more than I can say for Michael Butterfly's website. By the way, if Michael Oberdick is watching this, please make your website faster. Like, I actually wanted to order a few test parts today, and like it's like I have to go to the bathroom and come back before something loads. I say this with love. Please make it. And then you have it here. It tells you how many we got left. You can add them to cart, and they start at $3.99. You buy 5, and they're $2.49. Like, where are you going to find that besides every other electronics website that sells the same thing? All right, I'm done shilling myself. Would be nice to see that some chips actually sell, since I have so many of those left. Where did he get the on-stream voltmeter reading? Okay, I'll shill a little bit more. I lied. More shilling. So, if you want to know how I got this working, you can check out my boring ass crappy blog where I put things that are too boring to go on YouTube. So all the stuff that's too boring to go on YouTube, I put here with a little walkthrough of what exactly you need to do, how to configure it, how to make it transparent, so on and so forth. So if you want to figure out if you want to have a multimeter that looks just like mine, check out my blog here, and you can, does the link work? Of course it doesn't. No, half of this website doesn't work because I put it together at 3 in the morning. Another thing to fix. Anyway, so you go over here, and this is the fucking URL. That's my broken website on screen. That's how you can, if you want to have a multimeter on screen, that's how you do it. I'm hosting one of the driver files needed because when you buy the multimeter, the driver file comes on a fucking CD, and who the hell uses that? Like, who the hell uses CDs in 2017? So that they don't have the driver on their website, so I RAR'd it and I put it on the site. All right. Do you have a live journal? Live journal? How old is that? Michael Oberdick, we tried showing students your website today. Too slow to load. We had to give up. Yeah. It's not. I don't even think that's the server. Is that the server, or is that the fact that you have, like, how many themes on top of freelancer.com? How many freelancer.com people built that website? Be honest. I've done that too. I've had like 6 different freelancers working on it, and then my code winds up being, I'd be surprised if my website wasn't even just a bunch of ransomware. Oh, man. Remember his name? Seth Rich. Yep. Reagan had no political experience. No, Reagan had some political experience in California. I forget what it was, but he had some political experience about 10 years before he ran for president. Not a bunch. He went from being an actor to being a politician, but he didn't start with president. It wasn't like he started with president. URAS is going through parts of my website that I thought I deleted 7 years ago. Stop. Stop going through parts of my website I was supposed to delete 7 years ago. No. I have not done free house calls for like fucking 6 years. And I'm never going back to it. Man. Okay, so let's go back to the board that I know is dead. All right, so we're gonna go through our basic little run, just to confirm that my board is dead. We're gonna plug it in, and let's go through the power rails and confirm that PM Sleep S4L is missing because I have a dead CPU, and just give up on my misery and be done. Find the backlight fuse coupon. No, that is gone. That is gone. No backlight fuse coupon. Okay. So let's go through the list of rails. Where's that? No. Where's my list? All right, let's waste time until we figure out that the real problem is a dead CPU, and that this past hour would have been better spent eating empanadas. PPVin, whatever. This one over here. Let's go for this. Oh, what the hell? You didn't copy and paste over my underscores? No way. It doesn't paste the underscores. What the fuck? I gotta put in the underscores manually. That's insanity. Alright. What up, fam squad? Says Karn Slade. Do you have a video on different tricks to keeping logic boards in SO state and fan spinning without everything plugged in? I am lost with a 4924. What do you mean keeping it in SO state and fan spinning without everything plugged in? That board should, like, as soon as you plug it in, it should turn on. Now, do keep in mind the 4924 is not going to have the fan spin immediately. Apple realized that they did too much good in the design of the 2013-14 Retina, so they decided to, hey, am I turning on? I think I have a CPU V-core. Hey, CPU V-core, it's turning on. Okay, I'm done. It magically fixed itself. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, let's ultrasonically clean this and get the fuck out of here. That's great. There's nothing better than when your board that was not working just randomly decides to start working. Beautiful. That's absolutely great. All right, we're going to ultrasonic it, make sure it still works. Okay. What model Lenovo do you have? I have a P50. I have a P50. You did not put back on the cap. I did. I did. I know because I soldered it poorly. Yeah, so the 4924 is going to turn on and be in an SO state from the moment you turn it on. The reason that I look at CPU V-core and that I don't wait for fan spin is because in the 4924, as I was saying, they figured out in 2013-14 that they had discovered that Apple had made the perfect machine that doesn't fail, the 13-inch Retina. So then they decided, let's raise the threshold for the fan turning on like another 20 or 30 Celsius so that it does fail more often. That's my best guess as to what it is. You have any board repair niche problems that are not met by current software? And what the fuck? I can't read two things at once. Oh. Current software? I guess the sensor issues in the newer MacBooks are a pain in the ass. And the second comment I can't read because you left it at the same time as the other guy's comment. Well, what can I say? Like, that's... Yeah, I don't... Oh, now I can. I'm poor now. Well, don't donate if you don't have money. You shouldn't tip if you don't have money. So after all, it was a cap. Yep, it was a single cap on the CPU V-Core buck converter. And the best part is that tiny little cap looked perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. If you rewind earlier in the stream, you'll see. But yeah, the 4924, if I don't get interrupted again, is supposed to turn on automatically, but the fan will not spin. That's why I check CPU V-Core instead of fan spin. When I see CPU V-Core, I think I'm done. In the beginning, I used to actually test it. Then I got lazy and I checked for fan spin. Now I just check for CPU V-Core, and if I get CPU V-Core, then I'm set. I guess you keep it in an SO state by fixing it. I mean, that's really the way you... Nice static from the ultrasonic. Alright, I'll filter out some of it. Alright, we'll put in a 7 kilohertz low pass, and hopefully that takes out. What happens to the chips on the board you removed at the start? I swept them off my desk, and I replaced them with chips from a donor board. So I didn't take them off and just leave them off. I got a donor board, and then I put them on. Those were important. Certain things are not necessary. Oh, it's time to get out of here. Certain chips are not necessary, but some are. Things like Thunderbolt, Firewire, optional. But the rest is necessary. A program is not to filter sounds. Oh, this is a great program. So this is called Pedalboard. What Pedalboard does, it's a free program too. Pedalboard allows you to use VST plugins in succession with different audio interfaces. So, by the way, you see how I can't read anything? That's the beauty of Windows 10 scaling. Windows 10 scaling is a fucking piece of shit. Now you may say, Lewis, you didn't set your scaling settings properly. This application works with scaling. This application looks fine. If I were to drag over, let's say, a handbrake window, this window looks fine. Well, not really. It looks a little fucked up. But it's random, and it changes from application to application. It just compare. This is one of the things where I give OS 10 credit. OS 10 is a proper operating system when it comes to scaling and just dealing with resolution on multiple monitors, whereas Windows 10 is a pile of shit. People always say, configure it. You can configure it per monitor, and you do. But like 2 different programs will show up totally different on the same monitor. Just, ugh. Windows 10 scaling is complete shit. So we're just going to alcohol that. So this really cool program called Pedalboard 2, I can take my audio input, I can put it into a plugin. And this is not free. I actually paid like $250 for this back in oh man, I feel old. Back in like 2008, I paid for this fucking plugin. A long time ago. URS channel strip, really good. You're never going to be able to read this because Windows sucks. So you'll never be able to read this. I mean, you need a fucking magnifying glass. You need a You would need a 96-inch monitor at this resolution to read any of this. But this is a plugin, and I can do this and take off my low pass. And then afterwards, I have this isotope limiter thingy, which I link to next. And this makes it as loud as possible without clipping. So this is like a little compressor. So if I yell, it doesn't. If it brings it down a little, and a high pass, so that if you're using a subwoofer. And some people have subwoofers hooked up and they're too loud, so if I thump on the table or something, it doesn't break your subwoofer. And this makes it at a good volume so that you don't have to turn it up louder than everything else to hear what I'm saying. And then you can set the interface over here. And I know you can't see any of this, so there's not really much use. But yeah. And then there's this outputs to virtual audio cable. So then what I do is I take Open Broadcaster over here, and Open Broadcaster, let's bring it over to this monitor. Whoa, what the fuck did I just do? That's psychedelic. Let's see here, window. Where's my window? Where'd it go? Where'd you go, window? Come on. Come on. Here we go. All right, so this is my open broadcaster window. And as you can see, this is another example of Windows 10. Look at how bad Windows 10 scaling. This is just fucking funny. Okay, so see how big these words are? See how tiny these ones are? Like, this text is too large. Way too large. And then this shit over here, you can barely even fucking read. Look at this. Like, what does this say? Do you know, unless you put a magnifying glass to your monitor? Not at all. Like, this is all small, this is all small, this is small, this is too big, this is too big, this is too small. It's fucking Windows 10 scaling. If I move it over to the other monitor, see, if I put the program back on the monitor that it started on, watch, it's totally viewable. I know this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it's worth a rant because it's fucking stupid. Look at this. So on the monitor that I started the program on, everything is totally like this is the same size as this, which is a similar size to this, and which is a similar size to this, and it's all somewhat readable. Now, you may not be able to see it great because it's rescaling 4K to 1080p, but everything's of similar size. And then you move it over to the other monitor, and it's like a complete just, what the fuck am I even looking at? It's just awful. Absolutely awful. Yeah, I'll give credit where credit is due. Apple has a damn good operating system when it comes to scaling. Windows does not. Windows has shit when it comes to scaling. You don't see shit like that happening in OS X, especially in the newer versions. All right, what's next? What else did I have up in the window? So now we're going to dry that board off. You're going to see what it looks like. And then we'll make sure that it still works once everything is done. Thoughts on mother and daughter that microwaved a pet turtle? I think somebody should microwave them. I think that would be a fair... I think that would be very fair. I think that would... It's only, you want to microwave a turtle, somebody should microwave you. No sympathy there. That is my kitty. Yes, that's my kitty cat. She's adorable. I love Blackberry. She's my angel. Why are you using 2 monitors? Because I need space. And I had this monitor from like 7 years ago, so I might as well not throw it away. No reason to buy a new one when I already have one. Why not become an engineer? Because I'm a janitor. Any difference between 559 and 223 flux? The 559 is better. Needs more cat. I agree. Windows 10 is shit. I definitely agree. Can you introduce voltage into the fan of those Macs with a high threshold from somewhere around the board to keep it on? What? Disable the real fan voltage, the Mac will go crazy? I have no idea what you're asking. Introduce voltage into the fan with high threshold from somewhere to keep around the board to keep it on. Why would you want to do that? Disable the real fan voltage, the Mac will go crazy. What if the mother and daughter wanted microwaved? Yeah, then they got what they paid for. Then they got what they asked for. What hertz range can your mic detect? Mad hertz. Lots of hertz. Blackberry's eating flies. No, my cat is afraid of flies. If she sees like a spider come towards her, she runs away and hides behind a chair. It's such a fucking joke. Like, to everybody that says that cats are natural carnivores, you have to meet mine. Like, a bug will walk, the tiniest little centipede like this will walk up to her, and then, because in the summertime, if I keep the windows open, sometimes bugs come in, it'll walk up to her and she'll go, and she'll hide behind a chair. And then she'll poke her head out. If she sees the bug, then she'll go back to hiding behind the chair. It's like, it's such a joke. I have no idea how she would succeed outside. She is absolutely scared shitless of anything. Where do you get donor boards? In China? Why no Patreon? I don't know. I've never been a big fan of using Patreon. Okay, let me put the board in the oven, and you'll get to see what it looks like once it comes out of the oven, and it's nice and clean. And I'll make sure that it still works. The only reason I turned on this system, even the tipping system I wasn't really a big fan of, is because people were sending money to the email address that my website domain name was registered to, and then they were calling the store to complain about the fact that I didn't accept it because they thought that I was like insulting them or that I hated them or that I had a problem with them. So it's one of those things where as you grow, and Eli has a bet on this, he thinks that at some point that my main business will be not sustainable because it's open to the public and anybody can call the number and anybody can walk into the store as the subscriber count grows, because I essentially started my YouTube channel doxing myself because I said who I was and where all this stuff is public. And so I had people that were actually calling in pissed off that I didn't, because you know if you send money with PayPal or Skrill or some shit, sometimes you have to hit accept, especially if you don't have an account at that address. So people were sending money to accounts that I didn't have, like email addresses that were not associated to any account, that they just found in public forums or domain records, and then getting mad. So I figured I would turn this thing on. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of, not a big Patreon person. And ultimately, people know, like, I would be recording this crap anyway, so there wouldn't be much reason. Do you have to be thick-skinned to live stream? No, you just have to not care about making mistakes, really. Thoughts on fidget spinners? I've been thinking of getting fidget spinners, but not for the reasons Michael Oberdick says you should. I've been thinking of getting fidget spinners as a means of advertising. So I thought about getting fidget spinners that have our logos or our colors on them and like some writing on it with our business information. And so I've been looking into what the cost of this would be. And since Michael Oberdick has more experience, I would actually want to ask him that. But I want to get fidget spinners made that have our business info on them and give them away with every repair. Because they cost something like $1 if you buy them in quantity. So it may actually be a really cool way of advertising. Think about it. Like a mug, business cards, no one gives a fuck. A pen, nobody uses, but fidget spinners. Fidget spinners as a business card or fidget spinners with your logo on it. Like that, I think that's a good way of that's a decent way of advertising. Other than making money, why do you keep fixing Macs? Silence. Fucking silence. Other than money, yeah, about that. Does the 820-2249 use LVDS? I believe it does. Yeah, they didn't start using DisplayPort until 2010 for the Airs and 2012-13 for the Pros with the Retinas. I think it would be cool to have fidget spinners with your business logo and info on them. What's your opinion on level 1 text? I have no idea what that is. The 8200049 is a piece of rubbish, though. I know, like I criticized that Apple article where they're just throwing away shit and like just grinding it into the raw metals instead of fixing it. But the 820-2249, that's one of the very few boards where that should get ground up and used as raw metals. That thing is a piece of shit. That's a complete piece of shit. Last I heard, it's men on Congress who make laws regarding divorce and benefits. Check your benefits. Also, checkmate atheists. I don't get it. Checkmate atheists. What? Yes, because nobody would ever decide to make legislation to pander to a specific group of people who are their voter base. Come on. Could I use a display panel from another MacBook as long as they both have an LVDS connector? No. No. Use the right screen for the right machine. Can you move the camera in closer or zoom in so that I can see my own comment? Not happening. Not happening. How'd you learn all this stuff? You start and you figure it out as you go. That's really it. Start, figure it out as you go. Don't be afraid to screw things up, make mistakes, or look like an idiot. That's how everybody starts. I mean, everybody starts from knowing nothing. Like even Duke. Like there was a time when even Duke at the forum was reflowing dead graphics chips. Like we all start as idiots. And no offense to Duke if he's watching this, but like even Duke started out reflowing graphics chips. You know, we all start out ignorant and we all work our way up to being a little bit better at our craft over time. All right, so let's see. Did the ultrasonic cleaner make it look good? Oh, that's nasty. What the hell are you doing there? I left the blob in. I left the damn blob in. Come on, get out. What is this, Apple? I remember with the touch bar that had no Wi-Fi. I showed you the big solder blob they left on the board. We can do better than that. Quality control. But how the fuck I'm gonna fit an iron in there is beyond me. Let's just make that a little bit nicer. That's gonna trigger me. Figuring out stuff yourself seems like a rare trait. No, it's not. People do it all the time. What do you think you did as a kid? Why do you go through chat and answer all questions before you end it? Compulsion. I don't know. Someone asked you about Level 1 Techs because they mentioned you in their weekly news podcast. I'm sure they brought a few subscribers your way. I have to look up who they are. I've never heard of it. I live under a rock when it comes to YouTube. There's probably a lot of stuff that I'm missing. If they mention me, well, I appreciate it. I try to answer people's questions in the chat whenever they're not completely cancerous. Yeah, that's impossible. Well, why'd you put a screw hole there? This is a dick hole. This is a dick place to put a screw hole. You're gonna make a bunch of CPU MOSFETs that fail. At the very least, give me the fucking range to... There we go. What a bag of dicks to put the CPU MOSFETs next to the screw hole. Alright, make sure that I still have my CPU V-Cord turning on. Level 1 Techs used to be the guys behind Tech Syndicate. Ah, okay, now I know. So is that the Logan dude? So Logan is Level 1 Tech? Is that? The guy with the black hair and the beard thing and the... What's your favorite subject in college? My favorite subject was sociology because I got a lot of chances to troll my teacher. I trolled the fuck out of my sociology teacher. Because it was one of those classes where they teach you that like all white males are like a cancer on society. I trolled the living shit out of that teacher. It was... I mean, I figured, like, I'm forced to pay for this crap. And it's bad enough that I'm forced to pay for this crap, but so I might as well get some fun out of it. I should probably wait till the board cools off a little to turn it on. No, this is Wendell. Ah, okay. Okay, I'm not sure who that is, but I'll look it up after the stream. I'll look it up after the stream so I know who it is for next time. Your office at your house? No way. I like having my home to be my home. Is pistol a trap? What? I don't understand the question. Why the fuck would you take sociology? Because I was required to take an elective. And I chose the elective that I thought was the least cancerous. And I had taken sociology in high school in 2004, back before social justice warriors took over education. And it was actually really, really interesting. And then in 2009, I took it again in college, and that was after social justice warriors had taken over education in college and destroyed it. And it was awful. It was. I pretty much paid a few $100 to have somebody tell me why I'm a piece of shit, like every day, like every single day. Not Logan, but Wendell. He mentioned you regards to your newest Apple recycling video. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check that out. Here we go. So the board cooled off, and wait, why are you not seeing what I see? Hello, you piece of crap. Why does my multimeter stuff never work? RS-232 is on, and it's syncing. Okay, there we go. I just had to restart the program. So VCore is good. We got VCore, so I think that I'm just about set. Any good examples of you trolling sociology? Oh, I had a bunch. Like there was this one where I wrote I wrote like some 10 or 20 page paper. It was supposed to be on like why we were supposed to write a paper on how toxic masculinity or whatever related to women's lack of ability to vote. So I wrote some 10-page paper, and I provided citations for every single time that there was an invasion of a small area by whatever kind of group of nut jobs, and I would show that you would have a town, and there would be just a bunch of people in the town that weren't doing anything wrong, and then this group of people would just come over with swords and shit and just try to kill everybody. And because of that, it was part of the culture in the towns that the men would be the ones who were typically going outside more than the women, because if that type of invasion occurred, they could fight it off. And because the men were outside, they were more engaged in society. Since they were more engaged in society, they were more qualified to vote, this, that, and the other. And the thing that really pissed this person off is I did a lot of research. Like, I did a lot of research to find books, to find all sorts of text and materials, anything that would show me that this was the culture of the time, not even books on that specific subject, but books that were written during these times, where there was like light mentions of this. So I did all this research required to get to this conclusion that whether or not I believed it, it didn't even matter. It was just purely to troll the sociology teacher that I was paying over $350 to tell me why I'm a piece of shit. So I went over this and said that if you're not outside as often and you're not engaged in society because of the danger, then it may less qualify you. Now it did become bullshit in the 18 and 1900s when women were in the workforce. They were going outside, they were reading newspapers, they were engaged within society. It's not like, again, in the year 1000, if you're not going outside, you don't know what the fuck. It's not like you had newspapers in the year 1000. It's not like you had internet or cell phones. Today, you cannot go outside and you know exactly what's going on, even without. But now people are going outside. We don't live in the society where you have to worry at any given moment if people are gonna run in and beat the crap out of you, and you don't have to worry about the same stuff now that you have to do, let's say, back in the days of forming Kiev and Rus and whatnot. So I wrote the paper on that, and then I said, now it only became wrong in recent times when there was an equal engagement in society for men and women, but to say that toxic masculinity existed 1,000 or 2,000 years ago for that specific reason was bullshit. And since I cited everything, I got myself a B-, which was bullshit. I should have gotten an A, but still. I got to find that paper. That thing's probably, I've moved at least 4 times since I lived in the place that I lived when I wrote that. But I knew that it was going to be a waste of 3 or 5 months of my life, so I figured I might as well just take it as an opportunity to troll. And there was a lot of fun trolling. So. But the interesting thing about that was the momentum. Like, there were so many people against women voting, even when they were equally engaged in society, even when they were going out, they were reading, they were well informed, this, that, and the other. But I remember doing this. There was another paper that I did. It was on the myth of white privilege, or there was a myth of male privilege. There was a lot of. I remember going over prison statistics, death statistics over time, actual salaries in contrast in comparison to amount of time spent in the workforce. I remember going over amount of time spent in prison for the exact same crimes. I remember going over because if you actually look into this, women for the exact same crime as men spend a lot less time in prison. I remember going over what else? This is 2009, so this is 8 years ago. This is literally 8 years ago. What else was in that paper? What else would I put in there? I went over that. I went over length of life, lifespan. I probably did more research just to fuck with that teacher than I've ever done in my entire life. It's because like it wasn't like I took sociology in high school and psychology, and I had George Anthony as my teacher at Wagner High School. That's that's one of the very few teachers in public school where I give two. Like that was a real fucking teacher. That person engaged you. They taught you. They taught you the facts. They encouraged you to think. That was the type of teacher where I woke up he was my first class every day. I woke up without the alarm, and I would show up early every single day just so that I could talk and learn with that teacher. That was a good sociology class. And then I went to this college where we were just fucking cancer after cancer of just indoctrinating you into guilt that you hate, that you're a piece of shit. And I just couldn't stand it. I think that was the moment that I started to become more of a conservative. I think college is what actually made me more a conservative. Was just because I was just sick and tired of having that crap tossed in my face. So yeah, I did papers on the myth of white privilege, the myth of male privilege. There was another one on the myth of the myth of toxic masculinity. I have like, yeah. That was I gotta find that shit. I gotta find that so I can post it. Maybe if I find those, I'll actually read them, because I actually do recall having citations for all of them. I did have citations for all of them. Like my bibliography for those papers was almost as long as the fucking paper, because I knew you're not allowed to say this stuff in modern, especially in New York. Oh my God, especially not at a college in New York. Like, you're not allowed to say this stuff. But if you say it with actual like facts and documentation, where I'm just not bullshitting you, that yeah. She gave me I know she wanted to give me an F, but just because I cited everything, I got B-. Like the difference between B- and A for that paper was conservative. Like that was it. It's like, you disagree with me, so fuck you, I'm taking 20 points off. But still, that was fun. But I mean, in the end, they won because they took $300 to $500 and forced me to take a class on why I'm a piece of crap. Yeah, I don't miss college. I can definitely say I don't miss college. I don't miss college. That was a fucking waste of time. Let's see. Why am I still here? I fixed my board. I fixed my warranty. Wendell was the brains behind Tech Syndicate. Logan was the jester in front of the camera. I have sympathy for the jester. I'm the jester here. You're never going to meet the brains. Okay. Did you go to college straight out of high school? No, I waited a year or two. I'm only toxic when I eat Taco Bell. You shouldn't eat that shit. Do you find sympathy on World Duty with Noam Chomsky? I'm really bad with names, so there's a very good chance that I know who that is and I've read through their views, but I'm very bad with names. Like there was this one program just 2 weeks ago where somebody asked, what do you think of Angela Merkel? And I said, who? And I mean, I could give you 12 pages of why I don't like her, but I literally forgot her name. So I'm sure after the stream I'm going to know exactly who that is, but for some reason the name is escaping me right now. It sounds very familiar, and I feel like I've read it before. I'm an art major. You wouldn't believe how much I have to bite my tongue. Dude, I wouldn't believe that you have a tongue. I wouldn't believe that you have a tongue. Oh, man. What the fuck is this now? New York is going to make a free tuition thing. Yes, because you need to indoctrinate people into hating themselves using their own money. You must pay to indoctrinate people into hating who they are. Modern education. Oh, man, what a joke. What a joke. We have a class called White Privilege starting this fall. That sounds like a school that you should leave. That sounds like a school that you should leave. Nice to see you live. We exchanged emails a few months ago. I am the guy that keeps the testing equipment running at an ophthalmology office and sent you some photos. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you watch and I'm glad you enjoy. I'm glad you fix things too. Shot her husband in the back and got off. Yeah. Don't make me find the paper, man. Don't make me find the paper. What made you choose to be a vegan? Originally health, but as time went on and I realized that it was actually a better diet for me than ethics. So health first, ethics later. Other window. MOSFETs next to the screw hole is a pretty good policy. Extra heat sinking. Probably not. They're just likely not caring. Perhaps extra heat sinking. Perhaps. Doesn't Jessa tell you you're a piece of shit for free? I gotta find those fucking papers. The trolls that I wrote when I was 20 years old. Oh man, those were good papers. I've always wondered about that whole privilege thing. It's like when I tried to rent an office space and they said fuck off because I was 20 and had like a 600 something credit score. No privilege. When I tried to get a job but I didn't have a college education, no privilege. When I tried to get a loan for my business and the only person that would loan me money was a convicted felon, no privilege. When I try to hire a contractor to make me a floor, and instead of making me a floor that does this, they make me a floor that does this, no privilege. When I go to Apple and I ask for schematics and diagrams, didn't you know that I'm white? You gotta give me the schematics, man. Nope. 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 Oh, I've been waiting for it. Waiting for it for a long time. I think that maybe it's the next life. Maybe I have to be religious. I think maybe if I'm religious, maybe the next life is where I get to cash in my white male privilege and not have to work 12 to 16 hours a day so that I can lead a middle class life. Yeah, probably the next life. So that being said, that is how we fix the short circuit on this board that came back for warranty. You should offer a warranty if you do anything like this. You know, it's. I mean, 30-day warranty is a kind of a scumbag thing to do. So I'm not saying you're a scumbag. I'm just saying if you're offering the 30-day warranty, it's kind of a scumbag thing to do. So just think about it. And we found the short circuit on this board, and it works. And it's got CPU V-core. And thank fucking spaghetti, whatever, that I did not have to redo any of this horse shit. Because I really thought that this wasn't going to work because of the fucking hole in the board and the and that little jump. See that little leap of faith that's making? See that little leap of faith? That is the leap of faith over the hole in the board to where PP3V42 goes to my clock chip. And right under that is some toxic ground. I think I'm going to start using that word more often. So that over there, that is a hole over the toxic ground, which we try to dig out. Remember, you always want to dig out the toxicity in society, especially if they're white.